I loved it. I wrote up our review for it, and one of the first, our like kind of little tagline was it does for haircuts what Jaws did for swimming in the ocean.
Wow.
It's I found you to be mesmerizing. Just every scene was really spellbinding and such an ominous, unsettling character, but also one with a real kind of heart and a real like charm and endearing quality to him that you don't typically get in those kind of horror movie antagonists. And I was just yeah awestruck by the movie. You know, a lot of the movies we watch for festivals like Fantastic Fest and other things, some of them land, some of them don't. But this was very much one that I I really love. So I was eager to talk to you. I did have an opportunity to speak to Kyle and talk to him about the film. So yeah, I mean, I could go on all day and night about it, and I can send you our review once the premiere and the embargo lifts too.
The embargo. I would love to. Isn't sorry, I guess we have a delay. Isn't Kyle something amazingly nice human being?
Sorry, Frankie. I think the audio from your other computer may still be on. It's
Okay,
still logged into that one.
okay, let me get. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we're still over there.
let
Let
me
me
get
get
it.
that guy.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, beautiful. Uh, Sorry about that.
No, no,
Isn't
no.
Kyle such a wonderful? He's just this. It's funny when I first met him, I looked at him and Kyle is a Christian's Christian, and he's just the cleanest human being you would ever meet. As soon as he walks in, you go, oh, "Wow, it's a that's what a clean human being looks like." Because me, I'm like polluted and dirty from life, but not this guy. He's just a very it's almost unsettling. He's so
Mm,
clean, and as an actor, you got to go into that weirdo psycho thing, and a
yeah.
clean guy is watching you. Um, how long have you been reviewing films, if I may ask?
So this is my eighth year.
Well, so
Yeah.
you've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, a lot of movie, and obviously a huge movie fan before that. So yeah, I kind of wanted to ask, how did you go about developing the character of Mick? I was really struck by, there are strands of other characters I think in there, right? Like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, and even Longlegs from last year. But I think drawing those comparisons almost does your performance a disservice because it feels so singular, like so unique. So I wanted to ask you just how you went about kind of from the ground up crafting Mick.
It's a long story. Uh, I've been an actor for 36 years now, and I've been fortunate to work quite a bit, and I've been fortunate to work with some of the greatest artists in the world: Marlon Brando, Michael Jackson, blah 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 blah. Um, but you never really, at my level, get a chance to get a hold of a character that's so expansive and nuanced,
Hmm.
well written and honest and weird. And normally, when you get a breakdown of a character for an audition, it's about a paragraph. This was 2 pages nonstop descriptive of the nuances within this guy. And I didn't even send in an audition tape. I didn't want to go down that hole. Uh, I knew where that hole went, and I just casting director called me and said, "Look, Kyle loves all the tape he's seen on you online. Please send in an audition." Um, I know all actors and artists say, we spend so much time developing the character and da 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 da. We spent exorbitant amounts. The thing with Nick is he couldn't come off as gay. Not that that's good or bad. It's just he's an extrovert and he's flamboyant. But the difficult part was to not let him fly into an effeminate
Hmm.
uh, role. Um, hmm, here's what happened. I played these kind of characters many, many times. The Buffalo Bills, the Psychos, the Killers. Um, the reason I didn't want to audition for it is because I knew it was a trap for me as a human being. I knew going down into the layers of meth. I'm a method guy, so I got to go in and I got to
Mm.
put in all the layers, everything that happened in it was past. What happened to him when he was a child? Was he accepted? Did the girls like him? Blah 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 blah. Um, and with this one, as I got down into building his backstory, I ran into myself, and it was not fucking good. Um, and I ran into this guy in Mick that is lonely and has spent a lifetime just trying to fit in, be loved, be included.
Mm-hmm.
And from a lifetime of that wound not being healed in him, he made these decisions to take a girl, and if he kept her and was kind and nice to her, she'd see him and love him, and he could go on and fulfill this destiny of meeting the girl and going on the date and her looking in his eyes and loving him, and then he would be complete, which is a little twisted,
Yeah.
but in the rationale of life, isn't that what we all do?
Yeah.
From day one, are we not programmed to um, look good, be healthy, be a man, be stoic, fit in, be nice, find a girl, get a job, build wealth, have a family, fall in love, be happy? That's life. And when there's a character or a human that's devoid of that, that's lived a lifetime of that journey that's unfulfilled, how often, does that, send us into some really twisted things? Myself, my mother put me and my nine sisters in foster homes when I was 7. Coming out of Theta into Alpha, that rejection left a mark, and everything sprung off of that. Well, after 30 years of trying to heal that wound, that emptiness, drugs, sex, women, all this stupid shit we do, um, I kind of got a handle on it to where I was reasonably happy, reasonably normal. Um, Going down in that hole and building Mick, I ran smack dab into it again. And it was just the loneliest, most fucked up 50 days I've ever lived. And I've played crazy fucking people. And to be honest, it's taken me a couple of years to get back out of that. And what really got me in building and crafting Nick and making him all of this backstory underneath, but not in your face on the nose,
Mm.
because that was the hard part, to keep it down, but let it spill.
Mm.
I'm not one of those be angry. I like it to simmer. Um, I ran into this concept that, or the realization that we're all the same. I mean, how many of us are the jock or the rich guy or the movie star or the race car driver that fits in? Most of us in the population struggle with identity, and we struggle with trying to find who we are and heal that wound, that we all hide from society. We hide it so well. And to be honest, I'm kind of freaked out to go out to the fiends, because the fiends are all, that's what they are. They're all, I'm not going to put that on everybody, but they seem to be people of that ilk that have lived on the fringes of society.
Mm.
Um, and they're a little bit different. And one side, it feels like home, and the other side, it feels like, oh shit, they're going to see me in my underwear. um, and the weird part for me is I got to go to this screening, this premiere, and
Mm.
everybody will know. They will see me. And after 60 years of hiding that, to go down in that hole with Mick and water it and nurture it and let it come out to be filmed, it was horrible. And the cast and the crew, everybody, wonderful people. but I don't think they were ready for Mick, and I don't think they were ready for me. And they just kind of left me off to myself and didn't bring me on and include. And it was the young kids and Mick and it was like this. And they weren't trying to be mean. They were just letting me do my actor thing,
Mhm.
stay in my space, but it compounded it because that was the all Mick wanted is to be involved.
Right.
And and it was just
Yeah, kind of playing out in real life. Yeah.
and the hard part is Kyle will tell you I was probably I was on him constantly. Kyle, we got to make sure this little nuance comes out here and these other 60 places, because if they don't, then he's just another psycho. And I just didn't want to do another psycho. I wanted to tell a human story
Mm.
uh, about a guy who's just wants to be loved, and it turns in him and he goes about it in a bad way. Do you think that came across that way?
Oh, 100%. And honestly, just hearing your words, not only I find them very moving, but it's elevating my appreciation of your performance because there is such nuance to Mick, and I do think he really stands out from other characters because I think, as you're saying now, you brought so much of yourself and your pain into that role, and I think that's so admirable for you to do that. I am one question I asked Kyle, which I was curious to get your take on, is Kyle had explained to me that there was often like scripted takes and there was like artist takes, right? And that almost always, because of the strength of your performance and what you were bringing, they ended up using your take, like your kind of artist take. And so I wanted to ask you just what that was like to deliver the lines as they were on the page and then kind of do your own thing. And if there was a particular moment or particular line that you are proud of that, oh, that like that came from me. Like I brought that from myself onto the screen.
um, I'm a musician. My background is dance. I taught professional ballroom and Latin for Arthur Murray's for 11 years. So for me, everything is very physical. Pardon me. We got about into the first week, and when we did the fight scene, because we were fortunate that we had a week of rehearsals, and then we shot chronologically the way the film was written, and it's just
Mm.
such a wonderful thing for an actor to do because we don't have to do this jump around thing. Um, and when we did the fight scene, it was just supposed to be the guy choking Mick, and that was it. And then he gets shot. But I said to Kyle, I said, Kyle, we brought a stunt guy in, a coordinator from out of town, from Atlanta. I'm a 30-year veteran stunt guy. We have the day blocked. Why don't we do a fight scene? I mean, just get into it. And he went, okay. And I ended up popping a rib head the first couple of takes. So from the first week, the rest of the 45 days was just physically agonizing.
Wow.
And we're in this room that had no ventilation. So it's 110, 120 all day.
Oh my
So there's
gosh.
heat and going into artist takes, Kyle said, I said, is it okay if we just, after we get the shot, can we just do an artist take, whatever? And he's like, what do you mean, whatever? And I'm like, whatever comes out. And he's like, yeah. And he's such a giving, I know a lot of actors say this, but he's such a giving director in as much as this is the framework of the film. Um, do what you do,
Mm.
make some magic. Um, but the artist takes, it was never okay on the fifth take, we're going to do an artist take. It was okay, do an artist take. Uh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because, I mean, improv, we plan improv. There's kind of, I'm going to go here and it'll stay there. These where it was like roll camera and my brain's going, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to let it come out. And for me, Mick he's such a sycophant. and we tried to program him that, um, you know, all he just his compulsion to be loved and accepted forces him to always tell you what you want to hear in this
Mm.
manipulative thing. And you know, I was frantic while shooting because I thought we were pushing him too hard. We were making him too extroverted. I'm like, Kyle, we need to
Mm.
back him down, because I'm all about the internal stuff. And he's like, no, it's perfect. It's perfect. But the artist's take, there was one scene where I ran up on Billy or Brad in the chair, and I'm in his face, and I just went boop, boop, boop. And that just kind of came out organic. It was a tense moment, and I just wanted to relieve it. Um, and it's funny because I thought, man, that's such an original thing. And then I'm watching a video last night of another actor, and he leans in and he goes, boop. I'm like, oh, fuck. He took my boop.
You took your move.
Motherfucker took my boop. It's not original anymore. It's hard to find something original to
Mm.
do, like I'll be back or something like that. Um, you know, it's hard for me to look back in hindsight because I was so fucked up in Nick. And having
Mm.
played many, many psycho characters, usually I can keep a balance, but this one I just got lost in the depression and the loneliness. Um, and I just really felt that it was an opportunity for me as an actor, one time in my 35-year career, to be able to tell a story about a guy who's human and making bad choices,
Mm.
or compelled to make push to this place where he just feels he has to do this.
Right.
And it, I don't know, it just, I my best friend is one of the world's leading cognitive neuroscientists, Dr. Ronald Vigo, and I've studied psychology and sociology and all the shit actors study my whole life to try and find out why I was so fucking empty. And there was this thing that I just couldn't feel. And it just, what really is as weighed so heavy on me the last year is it's not just me, it's the majority of society. And
Mm.
I'm a student of humanity. I'm constantly watching people and their subtext, and that's just, I'm fucked up that way. I can see you are too. um, but that's the only way I ever learned how to learn, because I wasn't raised like a normal person, just thrown in the closet and you did bad type thing, figure it out. Um, and my biggest fear the last 2 years, a lot of what we shot is not on the screen. There's
Mm.
so much more scenes of Mick explaining to Billy down in the dungeon why he is the way he is. And, you know, I, hairdressers, we have this gift, and it goes into this whole explanation of why the guy's, you know, in dead in the vat of acid. And it's this whole explanation of what happened to him and what made him the way he is. A lot of that didn't make it in. For me, that was a lot of the crux of explaining to the audience why
Mm.
he's doing what he's doing and why he got, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the filmmaking process. As actors, we're given a template, and I guess we go in and we live in that template, and then they take it and stitch it all together however they think best fits. Did you ever see Kyle's short that he won the Palme d'Or for? Um,
Is it autumn? Autumn, fall?
yes, that's why I took this film,
Mm.
because I saw that and I went, oh my God, you know, here's a guy that lets it breathe and lets the story just be what it is. And you know, Kyle has a, this is his first venture into kind of a thriller comedy thing. um but he's a spirit-based guy, and he weaves these messages in so eloquently and subtly, which is what I love and what
Mm,
I waited my lifetime for. What I try and do in music and dance and film is to tell these stories of what the face we show society, but let the one we hide seep through.
mm,
Um, Mick's fucked up. He just wants love.
yeah.
Think about it. What is Billy? Is Billy not him 30 years before start?
Yeah, their journeys definitely parallel one another. Yeah.
And it wasn't really written that way. But, as we got into it, I thought, you know, he's like my son. I don't want him to go down this path. I'm going to make him
Mhm.
beautiful. He's going to be amazing, Bill. you know, um, and the fear as an actor is, does the audience see, um, did Mick touch them? Did they feel? Do they care about him, or is he just another psycho? Because
Mm.
that's not what we wanted. Um,
And I think it was far from that. I genuinely mean that. I put in our review for the movie. I think Mick has quickly risen near to or among like kind of the apex of our kind of favorite horror movie. I struggle to use the word villain, although I guess he is the antagonist of the story. He's just such a compelling character. I am wary of time, so I just wanted to close out with a question about Fantastic Fest. So. You're headlining a movie which I very suspect, based on what tends to work well at Fantastic Fest and tends to not work well at Fantastic Fest. I really think that this movie's gonna hit it big at the with the crowd there. I genuinely believe that, and I think so much of that has to do with what you bring to this movie and your performance. And so, heading into this festival, I wanted to just ask, what does it mean for you to headline a big horror movie premiering at a big horror movie festival, arguably the preeminent horror movie festival on its 20th anniversary as well? It's a big deal.
I'm scared out of my mind. I'm a pretty shy guy, and I'm an extremely emotional human being, as you can tell. It's just, and it's not good for the bad guy to be an emotional person. Um, as an actor, you go to these auditions, and there's this endless grind, and when you're coming from a base of dysfunction and self-loathing as a program as a child, and you want to do good. You
Mm,
want to make people proud, and you want them to see you and see that you have value. And this is all of what Mick is, and it's all of what I've
mm,
always been, and probably what we all are.
yeah,
We want to do good. We don't really give a fuck what other people think, but we want people to go, you know what? You did
yeah,
good.
good job.
You're good.
Yeah,
Man, it's so hard for me not to be honest. Um, I'm on the site and I'm looking, and this film's playing, and we're against Surat, and then on the second one, we're not in theater 5, we're in 9, and we don't get a red carpet, and it's like, fuck, this is my shot, you
yeah.
know.
It's a
Uh,
huge deal. It really, it genuinely is. And watching that movie, there were several really distinct moments in that movie where I thought, like, I think the crowd there is gonna absolutely eat it up. Genuinely mean that.
but we're not horror. It's not really horror. And I think the crowd, I see the other films, and they're and that's not what we are. And I said to Kyle, because we were originally supposed to premiere over at Rain Dance.
Mm,
A week before, they pulled it, the seller, and said, no, we're going to open a Fantastic Fest. And I thought, that's a horror film. That's like, being a country dancer and going into a salsa bar. I mean, shit.
Yeah. I would say though that the festival has expanded in recent years. Like for instance, last year they screened Saturday Night and The Apprentice, two movies that you would not consider to be horror movies in the
Oh,
slightest. And
yeah.
so and a lot of the fair, at least even the movies I've watched so far, do exist in that kind of hybrid thriller, horror, comedy realm. So yeah, I think there's a crowd pleasing quality of the movie that you've made. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to meet with me. I know you probably have a really packed upcoming week. And so thank you so much for A, reaching out, but then B, just being as candid as you are today. I've done a lot of these interviews and a lot of them are very superficial and kind of surface level, and you actually put real meaning and thought into your answers. And so I'm very genuinely grateful for that, Frankie.
Thank you. You know, that's kind of my angst about going to the festival. One, I have a deep voice, so it's really hard for me to talk to people in loud environments. And two, this character is so intensely personal. I just don't want to get up there and cry because the bad guy's not supposed to cry at his fucking premiere. And I hope people come because it just feels like we're up against such big films that are so popular. Uh, you know, Syriot or whatever it is playing in 5 theaters around us. You know, they're going to steal our thunder. So hope we don't have a publicist. We don't have PR. So hopefully, you know, from the first screening, the press and the audience will see the film and find favor
Mhm.
in it. And hopefully we can get a little buzz going. I'm 63. I don't have a lot of shots left as an actor. Um, to break out of the pack and you know grab the brass ring if that's what you call it, and it feels like this is mine, and it's this fucked up angst, bro. You stand there on the moment. I fly out tomorrow, and there's a chance that my life could change, and my career could change. The chance is there, and it's like this carrot, and it's like, fuck, I just want to get this over, bro.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I think I hope that that anxiety eventually transforms into excitement once you're there. I'm gonna, I really part of our site and part of what we do is not only kind of champion movies that we like, but also champion kind of smaller movies and independent films and things like that. And so, as much as Fantastic Fest has Black Phone 2 and The Strangers Chapter 2 this year, they also have Bad Haircut, right? And I actually wouldn't be surprised if Bad Haircut is a hell of a lot better than some of the bigger fare at the festival. And so
That's a
I'm going to take it upon myself to, spread the word about your movie. Not just kissing your ass, genuinely enjoyed it. So, yeah, no, thank you so much, Frankie, for taking the time. I'll be in Austin too, so maybe we'll
oh,
cross paths
I
when we're there.
save me a dance.
Yeah.
You know, it's right now I'm feeling a sense of relief because you don't know until someone other than friends of the director and the
Sure.
pre-screening and your friends, someone outside that doesn't care about you, doesn't know you, doesn't give a fuck, you know, says, hey, this is what I saw and this is what I got. And you hit the mark. Um, and then, you know, you can kind of relax and go, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
public large. This is a guy that reviews films, and he's, you know, he gets paid to be honest. He doesn't get paid to kiss ass. Um, so I look forward to the fest, and I really hope to run into you. I'm sure we will. And thank you for your honesty and favoring and seeing Nick. I don't know if it makes people kind of go, oh God, that's a little too intense or personal. But my intent was to just have people see a bit of themselves, maybe, and
Yeah.
understand why we make fucked up mistakes, because our world's in a bad place, and I don't think we're listening to each other and
Yeah.
really seeing each other. Um, so thank you for having me on, and I'll
Yeah.
be there, and we'll sweat in the heat, and
Yeah.
to see some other good films.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully. No, it's been lovely to meet you and yeah, thank you so much.